What's going on, y'all? This is your boy Kev coming to you with another game analysis. Going to talk about game 4 in the Boston Celtics Chicago Bulls first round series. Boston gets the win 104-95 on the road to tie the series at 2 apiece. I mean, I can't ever remember an instance where we've been through the first 4 games of a series and the home team hasn't won once. I might have seen it before, but I just can't remember it. I mean, I never thought that I would see a series where whoever wins at home might win the series. I mean, obviously, you know, a lot of times, a lot of instances in the playoffs, you know, the team that wins on the road wins the series, but it looks like the team that wins one game at home might win the series. Obviously, on Boston's side, another big game for Isaiah Thomas, finishing the game with 33 points, 10 of 21 shooting. Not too good of a free throw percentage field goal percentage for that many points. But you know, he gets the job done. He also had 4 rebounds and 7 assists. Also had 5 turnovers as well. But he was 12-13 from the free throw line. He was 1 of 9 shooting threes. 1 of 9. So if he gets a few more of those to fall, he has a 40-point game. Gerald Green getting his second start of the series, and he delivered with 18 points, 7 of 3 shooting, 7 of 13 shooting, I should say, with 7 rebounds. He was clearly the big scorer for Boston to start the game. Boston started off really hot, you know, or Chicago started out really cold. You know, you take your pick. Yeah, but Boston led by 20 at one point in the first half. They finished the first half with a 13-point lead. But Chicago fought their way back in the third quarter. They even took the lead with about like 4 minutes left in the third quarter. I mean, but as quickly as Chicago took the lead, Boston answered right back and went on a big run at the end of the third and into the fourth quarter. And then they made plays down the stretch to ice the game. Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford got in on the mix. Another double-double for him. 15 points, 12 rebounds, 6 of 11 shooting. I mean, the big thumb paying dividends. Olynyk was the only productive player from the bench for Boston, adding 10 points. But, I mean, clearly, Thomas led, like I said, and then Green, what he did in the first half, he was phenomenal. And then you had Horford again coming up big for Boston in these last 2 road games. Avery Bradley was a huge part of game three's win, but he only had 8 points here in game 4, 3 of 9 shooting. I'm pretty sure he'll pick it back up as they head home for game 5. Jay Crowder had a subpar. He didn't have a subpar. He had a par game of 5 of 9 shooting for 11 points. But yeah, it was really all Isaiah Thomas and Gerald Green and Al Horford that led Boston to the victory tonight. For Chicago again, it was Jimmy Butler finishing with 33 points and 9 assists. Obviously, the Butler basically had to become the primary ball handler for Chicago, as as Rajon Rondo was out with the broken thumb, but also struggles from Jaren Grant and Michael Carter-Williams. Hoiberg decided to keep those guys on the bench. I mean, seriously, Grant and Carter-Williams combined to play only 12 minutes in this game, and that's your starting and backup point guard. A huge surprise for Chicago. Basically their 4th point guard, Isaiah Cannon. You remember him? He had some big games for the Rockets back a couple years ago. Cannon played 34 minutes in this game. Like I said, he's the backup to the backup of the point guard, but he had 13 points off the bench. Really good production from him off the bench. But and he'll probably he might even get the start in Game 5, depending on what Coach Hoiberg wants to do. Because again, Mark Carter Williams obviously is not getting the job done. Dwayne Wade, who was so big in that Game 2 victory where he helped close it down the stretch with 11 points in the fourth quarter of Game 2, only had 11 points in Game 4 as a whole. 5 of 12 shooting. Had 6 rebounds, but clearly not the Dwayne Wade that Chicago needs here. You know, hopefully, you know, maybe they'll get rejuvenated as they go back on the road. Mirotic had a fairly decent game for the Bulls, 13.7 rebounds, but that was about it. It was basically Jimmy Butler and Isaiah Cannon who came up big for Chicago in this game. This series will go at least 6 games. I actually have the Bulls in the upset, winning in 6 games. I mean, and after the first 2 games of the series in Boston, you thought Chicago might sweep, you know, winning the first 2 games on the road and then coming home for games 3 and 4. They really that's a big letdown. I mean, and I'm pretty sure if they end up not winning this series, that's going to be really big in the minds of the Chicago faithful, not being able to win games, neither Game 3 or Game 4 at home after you get a 2-0 lead. Yeah, but Isaiah Thomas, man, I don't know how he's still doing it, man. I mean, I obviously the trip home to Tacoma, Washington to be with his family really kind of got him out of his, well, I wouldn't say he didn't have a funk, but, you know, really lifted his spirits, I should say. I mean, sometimes that happens when you go home after a tough situation, a tragic situation, like he and his family is going through, losing his sister in that single car accident. It's great to go home and see your family, your mom and dad, and they give you those words, those encouraging words. You know, stay with it and all that, you know. And then, you know, depending on what other family was there, you know, and then the friends of your family, people outside your family sending you their prayers. I mean, it's good to go home and be with your family for a day or so. And they said that Thomas came back more upbeat, you know, and that's always a great sign. You know, I wouldn't say that it brought closure to the situation, because it will never be a closure to a certain situation like that. It's always good to be around family at that time, at the time of a tragic situation like that. And I'm glad that he's able to. I'm glad that he's able to. I mean, he even looks like he's better mentally, you know, smiling on the court. You didn't see a smile in Game 1 or Game 2 because it was still heavy on his mind. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm glad that that burden is somewhat lifted off of his mind, so he doesn't have it on his mind as much, and he can just play ball. Yeah, but once again, final score: Boston Celtics get the victory in Chicago, 104-95 to tie the series at 2 apiece. Appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you are watching this video, I wish you nothing but positive vibes only. Stay tuned. I'm gonna try to give you a wrap up of this Los Angeles and Jazz game, and I'm so I'm gonna try to get you a wrap up of that. Well, other than that, man, again, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.